Hello, hello. Okay, so we are continuing on with sections 4.4 and 4.5 this week. And I broke this up because while there's only one concept we're talking about this week, it's a concept that a lot of students struggle with, so I want you to have plenty of time to just focus on this concept alone. So what we're going to be talking about this week is our distance formula. So we have one goal, to be able to find distance using distance formula. Now this is using whenever you have 2 points. Now remember, if you have 2 points, they're written as x1, comma 1 and x2, comma y2. x1, comma y1, yeah. Okay, and your distance formula, please make sure you pay attention to each part of it. So distance is equal to the square root of x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. And it's very important to use all the parentheses and everything in these problems. Okay? So we're going to go ahead and do some practice on your distance formula here. Okay? So remember, if you need to, just pause at any time if you need more time to write stuff down. So we're going to find the distance between, let's do 6, and -7, -4. So make sure you write that down. Next thing I like to do is label my parts. So we have x1, y1, x2, y2. And now we're going to write our formula. Yes, you have to write the formula. If you don't, then you're definitely going to mess up, okay? So distance is equal to the square root of x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. Please write that down. Sorry, guys. Runny nose. You will need a calculator. You cannot do these without one. You will have to turn your phone sideways to be able to use the calculator appropriately on here. Remember how I said it's really important to keep all those parentheses in there, okay? So now we're just going to plug in our information into our formula. So we've got -7 minus 6 squared plus -4 minus 6 squared. So make sure you understand what I plugged in there, okay? I plugged in my x2 for my x2, my x1 for my x1, my y2 for my y2, and my y1 for my y1, okay? Now let's just go ahead and solve what's inside our parentheses. If you struggle with positives and negatives, it's okay. Please use a calculator. So I'm going to use a calculator this entire time to show you how to do it. All right. So first we have -7 minus 6. And we get -13. I'm keeping my parentheses here. Plus -4 minus 6. And I get -10. Keeping my parentheses here. Alright, if you notice, I have not dropped that square root. A lot of students do. And then they're like, I'm not getting the right answer because you just completely forgot to write part of the formula. So don't forget about that square root. And we don't get rid of it till the very end. Alright, so next we're going to square what's inside our radicals. Okay? Remember how I said those parentheses are important? You have to type those parentheses in your calculator. Alright, phones do have parentheses. So -13 squared, we get 169. -10 squared, we get 100. Now, what I suggest is pausing this when we're done and taking your phone, if that's what you're using as a calculator, and typing in there till you can figure out how to get each of these steps to make sure you get them right, okay? Alright, so then we have square root of 269. Okay, so I'm going to take my calculator, square root 269, round to the nearest tenth, so I got 16.40. 0 is below 5, so it stays at 4, so our answer is 16.4. All right, like I said, go ahead and pause the video here and practice typing this in your calculator to make sure you understand how to do it, all right? Because I am going to want to do another example with you. All right. The next example I would like to do with you is us finding the distance of -4, -3, and 6 and -4. Right? Step 1, label your parts. So we've got x1, y1, x2, y2. All right. Next part after that, writing the formula. Distance is equal to the square root of x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. And then our next step after that is plugging in our information. Remember, do not drop that square root. You need to keep that in there. So we've got 6 minus -4 squared plus -4 minus -3 squared. All right. Now again, please use your calculators if you're someone who struggles with negatives and positives. It's okay if you do. Luckily, we have technology in the world today that makes life easier for us. So here we go. Next step, start working this out bit by bit, starting with what's inside our parentheses. So I'm going to go 6 minus -4, and I get positive 10 squared plus -4, -3 gives me -1. You can't see that, sorry. -1. Okay. Next, we're going to take squares. So we've got 10 squared, 100, plus, and if you notice after I square, I drop the parentheses, because that's when you can. -1 squared, 1. Alright, and then 100 plus 1 is the square root of 101. And the last thing we do is take the square root. Square root of 101. Get 10.04. 4 is below 5, so it just stays 10.0 or just 10. Okay. Alright. I wanted to make sure I provided you an example with just subtraction. Okay, like this one was here. And then I wanted to also provide you with an example of where we're subtracting by negatives. Please use your calculators, okay? If you do not get, because it's going to be multiple choice. It is only 15 problems on your homework, multiple choice. If the answer is not on there, that means you need to rework the problem. And I know how frustrating these can get, so take your time with them. That's why there's only 15 of them. And it was nice to see you. Well, y'all got to see me. I would like to see you all. But, alas. Anywho, thank you. Do not forget to do your worksheets, and also don't forget about our Zoom sessions. I do take attendance during Zoom, so if you're someone whose grade is very, very poor and you ask me for help, like extra credit, and you're someone who's never come to Zoom, chances are not very great that you'll get it. So, alright guys, bye.